Okay, I got my coffee. Decaf. Yeah. Drinking decaf these days. Had some regular coffee. Just made me feel real weird. I wasn't sure. So I started drinking decaf. I can talk to my doctor and see if he's alright with it. Hey, I think we got this about done. Of course, I got the lower unit off. Do a water pump, which I think it's coming in today. So, but I do want to flush it. What you guys see me do, just take a hose and I'll flush it just to make sure. And then, let's see, this is all that crap that I pulled out of here. Some old switch, telephone cable, some okay cable that's laying there, that black and red right there. Lots of telephone cable, 2 switch boxes. There's a stator, trigger. There's that choke coil. I pulled that out as well. But yeah, so we pulled all that stuff out. And then over here I have sorry, moving a little slow. Slower than normal. That's okay. So in here, got the battery situated right next to the pump. We may see about putting a battery tray there. I'm gonna talk to him and see if he wants to do that. Probably get, he can do this. Just gotta put a piece of wood down and like maybe glue it in place, some construction adhesive or something, and then he can drill screw the battery plate down. But got it kind of tucked in. It's hard to see it, but there's a switch right here, so we can turn. And I did this because the panel mount switches that he had bought, they have LEDs on them, so you can't just leave them on all the time. So just have this work. You just turn the button one way or the other. Here we go. And it turns all the switches on. And yeah, we got our engine, and then we got our trim unit. This needs to be cleaned out pretty good. But then over here, of course I repaired the harness, got it all straightened out, working, taped up, a couple of new throttle shift cables, and we got our new panel mount, which is right here. This one's not hooked up. It's fine. There's a bilge pump. We can hear it. Maybe you can hear it. And bait tank. That works. We got our running lights, which are really like our navigation lights. These were already labeled, so I wouldn't have labeled that. I would have labeled it navigation lights. But he had these up front, the red and green. He already had them, so I wired them up. I dropped another cable here for like a graph. And then you can see up here, this is the type of cable I use, a marine cable, really good stuff. But I've got that for a graph if he wants to hook that up. And he doesn't have any cockpit lights, but it is there. Wires it up, or has me wired up. And he has another switch for tricolor light. I don't know what that means. These aren't hooked up. I think one of these is hooked up to our like what would be graphs. If he puts a graph up here and up there, so the other wire is just laying down inside that little bay. So that's all working, and yeah, it needs to be cleaned. I'm just waiting on the water pump. Put the water pump in hopefully today, and then I can come get it. You know, the trim switch still works, so that's all pretty good. I can trim it up anyway because I gotta flush it. So that works pretty good, and should be pretty good for him to go. Like, here's that kind of cable again. This is good stuff. And then I just labeled these with some of this tape, and on these switches, which I know is hard to see because I got it tucked back in here. So I was having a conversation with the Deca battery guy, and talking about these switches, and basically, you know, a switch is a switch, right? Well, not really, because he was saying, we were talking about that, you know, which I guess, do you put it on the positive or the negative? And so I guess there's a couple schools of thought on that. I really, for me personally, I think if you're on the positive side of the battery, you're fine. But whenever electricity, so the electrons, how do they flow? Well, typically they flow from the negative side to the positive side. You'd think it'd be the other way around, but it's just like lightning. Like when lightning happens, you think, oh, I see the lightning coming down from the sky and it hits the earth. But scientifically, and they've proven this, it actually comes from the ground up. So the electrons flow from the negative side to the positive side. So the earth is negatively charged, and then the sky is positively charged. That's what causes the lighting. But it flows from the negative side up. So when you're doing a switch, you would put it on your negative side, and the idea of the thinking behind that is that if it was on the positive side, say, you know, electricity is always looking for a path to ground. So no matter what happens, it's looking for that path to ground. So if it's on the positive side, somehow it made it through the switch, then it would find its way to ground, and then you'd have like a dead battery, or you'd have a problem. But if it's on the negative side and it's completely disconnected from the battery, there's no possible way for it to find ground. Even if it finds another ground source somewhere else, then if it's not grounded to the battery, then nothing can happen. So I don't know, it's probably good practice to go from your negative side than to go from your positive side, is the short of it. So anyway, I got some little video of this running after I put the new switch boxes in and got everything together. So maybe I'll tag this on the end. Anyway, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If I could talk, please like, and I always love to hear from you guys. So until next time, thanks for watching. Well, she lives, but needs a water pump, which I don't have ordered just yet. That's pretty good. But she definitely doesn't pee, so I'm going to have to get a water pump. And I'll get that. Get that ordered. Sorry, I haven't ordered it yet.